righty, welcome in everybody, and welcome back to Sports Prophet TV. We're streaming live on X. We, of course, are talking Major League Soccer for this weekend. Actually, we'll have a couple games. We got a Thursday game, a Friday game, and then we've got a full slate on Saturday. So we will get into that. We are fresh off of some rest. Got plenty of that with international break. Not quite in the rear view mirror because we do have Gold Cup and some other a few other events going on. It's mostly behind us now, so I won't have to worry so much about too many absentees, but there will be some to note. And primarily we've got Major League Soccer back. So Garrett, welcome back, buddy.
Hey man, good to be back. I took a week off. Still managed to find some profit personally midweek, which was nice. I'm in a good vein right now, which is good, especially after the start of the year. That was rough. Turning out consistent, profitable slates right now. So it feels good. I'm pleased.
Yeah, happy to hear that. I'm personally really grateful to have some league play back. I didn't have a great international break.
Nobody does, man. Nobody ever has a great international break.
Yeah,
it's always fun to play, but no one ever has a great one.
Yeah, just kind of, you don't get a ton of sample size. So when they play, it kind of seems like another own goal, another silly penalty. That kind of stuff seems to happen a lot. But anyways, we will get into it though. I don't know exactly what match week we're on because of all the midweek games. I'll have to look at the website and try to get an official match week, and then I'll try to tag that on the YouTube video when I post it to there.
It is game 19 for some squads. Like most squads are entering game 18, but we have a couple who have hit game 19 already.
Cool. Yeah, we'll call it match week 19, just for the sake of having a match week to tag onto it. And obviously we'll have some teams, 3 teams of Major League Soccer that will have some games postponed for a little while because of Club World Cup. But I promise I'm not going to talk. Yeah.
I mean, not Thursdays, Fridays, Toronto, LA game, obviously postponed. I think they've got their next one postponed after that as well because of Club World Cup. And you'll see some others with other teams who is Seattle and
Miami,
yes.
But yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about Club World Cup because I'd rather just see how it goes. But let's jump into it. I'll lead us off today. Portland Timbers. This is a Friday night game, standalone Friday night game, hosting the San Jose Earthquakes. Of course, Bruce Arena there at San Jose has done a very nice job kind of turning the ship around. Not that they're a title contender necessarily, but they've been a fun team to watch with that 2-forward system that he likes to run out there. And it's been fun. So I'm going to back the Quakes here, plus 0.75. I don't think this should be 0.75. I think that this should, at the very worst, I guess I should say, this should be double chance and money line. I think it should be your standard, Portland minus 110 to win, and Quakes minus 110 on the double chance. That's kind of that would have been somewhat reasonable. I still might have backed San Jose here, but getting the extra quarter of a goal here, which could come in handy if the Quakes do lose by 1, then you only lose half of your risk on the Asian line there. But I'll be honest, I actually kind of think San Jose could be live here to win this game. Portland is going to be without Kamal Miller. He's the captain a lot of times for this team, and he's their starting center back. They're also going to be without Lassiter, but he's been hurt for a while anyways. And then Crepeau, but Crepeau has been it's been like a revolving door at the goalkeeper there for Portland. So the biggest loss is definitely Kamal Miller for Portland. And then the Quakes, they don't have anybody out. And Dave looked really good this year. And and also not as worried about the West Coast advantage here because the Quakes already play on the West Coast. And then let's see. I was going to say one more thing. Oh yeah, the last thing about this game, I watched Portland and St. Louis City, and St. Louis created 7 big chances against Portland. Luckily for Portland, St. Louis missed 6 of those 7 big chances. And St. Louis was able to create almost 3 expected goals on the road, somehow still lose 1-2, right? So Portland didn't look great against St. Louis. They looked very vulnerable. They should be even more vulnerable here without Kamal Miller at center back. And the Quakes are dangerous. So shootout wouldn't surprise me, right? But I like the Quakes to at least get a point here.
It's interesting because San Jose, like their games don't typically hit that over mark when they're on the road. Like if you look at those road games, it's all like 1 goals, 2 goals, like is what you're seeing like total.
Yep.
This has heavy draw vibes for me. So I'm totally cool with the San Jose plus a quarter goal. Like that's great. Um, I don't like goals here actually. I mean, Arango is still hurt. San Jose, I just pulled it up. Give me 2 seconds. We'll have to see who starts for San Jose in that attack speed wise. And then Portland, they might be forced to play Sermon on short rest coming back from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Just because they're thin back there and they needed him. I actually think the reason why St. Louis was tearing it up was Portland was not able to play like they normally do with Sermon not back there. Kind of, he comes from the Aussie League, and that those center backs move the ball a lot. Like they progress the ball forward a lot. That's what Sermon does for Portland to help them out. And they didn't have that. Kamal Miller doesn't do anything like that. Like that dude is strictly a defensive center back. Which is why I think we saw Portland kind of get exposed a little bit. They just couldn't get the ball out of their own half. And where St. Louis excels is in, or where I should say, where they have historically excelled is in turning the ball over in their opponent's third. And that's what's led to their goals for season, so many chances. They're not great finishers. They never have been. It's when they get those turnovers in the final third is what turns St. Louis dangerous. And they're actually not doing that this year. I think they were dead last coming into the Portland game. And so, anyways, I think I see the draw here. Maybe a 1-1. It's kind of where my head is, but no, I San Jose plus a quarter of a goal. That's a good line here. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah. Plus 3/4 of a goal.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
But one last thing to note here, it doesn't necessarily affect this game because he's been dealing with an injury all year, but Jonathan Rodriguez, designated player for Portland, looks to be out for the year. So that's a huge gut punch to Portland. And really sucks to see too.
Might be it for his Portland career.
Yeah, that might be it. I mean, he's already getting up there. I think he's 31 or 32. So
We'll see. So they get to put him on season injury, and that does allow Portland the opportunity to bring in another DP in the summer.
That's probably it then, right?
So yeah, that could be all she wrote for Jonathan Rodriguez in Portland. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. All right, there's our first one, and we move on to the rematch. This was what was it? 2-7, 7-2 in Nashville. The first one,
7-2, a 9-goal game in Nashville the last time these two teams met. So yeah, why would I not take the over 3 as they're traveling to Chicago now? We still have the number 2 and the number 5 attacks in terms of expected goals in the league here in this game. And the Fire are still the 4th worst defense in terms of expected goals allowed. So a very vulnerable Fire defense, 2 great attacks. That spells goals to me. Now we do have guys away. All right. So Kuipers is questionable. He didn't practice Tuesday. That's not a good start to the week as far as him trending toward playing in this game. That would be a decent blow And that's part of the reason why I'm not on our typical both teams to score on over 2.5 here with this club. Sticking with the safe over 3 because there is a world where one of these teams gets blown out again. If Kuipers play, Nashville's missing Zimmerman, Nahar, and Schaufelberg. Two of those players tend to lean more to the attack as opposed to defense. Zimmerman has missed a ton of games this season with that concussion, but he was going to start if he's back. Whenever Zimmerman misses, typically Nashville has leaked. Now, the Colombian that Nashville brought in to help hold down that back line has certainly helped. But the Fire can attack. We know that. The stats know that. So anytime Nashville's line is a little weaker in the back, I definitely like to attack them for the other team to score. And then a big thing for Chicago is Brady, the goalkeeper. Big talent in terms of MLS goalkeeping. Will absolutely be in Europe at some point. That Fire defense hangs him out to dry a ton. And so, like, if you don't know goalkeeping and you just watch the Fire, like, that goalkeeper's bad. The kid is not bad. The kid is often hung out to dry by his defense, which just sucks for any goalkeeper. But that's big, not having Brady in the net to kind of dig Chicago out of some holes they put themselves in. So yeah, this is just an easy over 3 for me, man. You get the push protection here. I'm not eating a ton of juice for that to get that 2.75 or that 2.5. Minus 121 feels like a really good line here on the domestic side of books. So yeah, we're just going right back to it. This is pretty simple for me.
Yeah, this one is a simple one. I don't have too much to say here, really. I mean, 7-2 on the first one, and it wasn't much of a fluke. And then, funny enough, Chicago went to DC and won 7-1 last week. So the Chicago attack is in decent form as well. Like you said,
that was without Kuipers too. Without Kuipers, like it was impressive. Now DC just had a all-time bad night, but either one of these attacks can pop off on their given night. So yeah, this is now I will say, with Kuipers being questionable, with some guys away, that's why I'm only keeping it to 1 unit. You will have some guys coming back. Again, those international players who played last week, they played 2 games usually. And if they got action in both games, they're probably not going to start this weekend for their club teams. So we'll just have to see who else plays. But if I get word that like Kuipers is going to start or he's in, I don't hate the idea of cranking this up another unit. We'll see. But for right now, just with what we know currently, we're just gonna do 1 unit here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, that's a fair approach to take coming off the international break in general. I'm sure both of us will have more additions, when we see lineups. All right. All right. Next game, Columbus hosting league leading Whitecaps, Vancouver coming to town. And another one. It's not all that complicated. Vancouver is going to be really missing a lot of guys here. They're going to be no Berhalter in the midfield. Of course, he's been fantastic. No Brian White, who scores all their goals. No Nelson, no Ali Ahmed. And I think they've got a couple more rotational guys missing. So keeping it simple here. Very playable Columbus Crew price at home. Columbus Crew, they've been, obviously still a good team this season. They have been a little bit less lethal, I would say, and they're probably on their worst run of the season right now. They have 2 losses in their last 3, and they're winless in their last 6. And definitely coming off their worst result of the season. In Miami, just lost 5-1 on the road, right? So Wilfred Nancy, should have a point to prove here. Vancouver's been really impressive. Don't get me wrong, but that's just too many guys missing for me. That's like almost the entire midfield and attack. So I am going to be rocking Columbus here to just they're just going to be the better team on this day. They're not missing anybody. Vancouver's missing a ton of people. Columbus needs a win desperately. And I think they get it done here. So taking them.
No, I mean, like, so this is the whole reason why, if you follow me on X, why I took Seattle so early last week is because we knew all these guys for Vancouver were going to be missing. And actually, it was more guys last week than it is this week. And Seattle was draw no bet plus like 110. And I was like, we took that. That line just got obliterated. And last time I checked, this was like 2 days before the match, it was like minus 165, right? You got to feel good about that. But you know that this is betting. This is why it's gambling. Those teams get on the field. Sounders look awful, have 2 red cards, and Vancouver wins 3-0. Like that's just what teams of destiny kind of do, right? Which is why Vancouver kind of has this feel in league play. However, it would be irresponsible to not attack Vancouver in this spot. Unfortunately, it's the Crew, which is just not fun to back right now. They just cannot finish any chances they create. They're missing guys as well. Um, but I looked at this game and tried to find ways to make this plus money, ways that I was comfortable enough with, just because I didn't want to eat any juice on the Crew given their poor form, even though this is a great spot for them. Even with the Crew missing people, the Crew's got people away with the U.S. team, the Crew with at the Gold Cup, um, and they've got like names that like are a big deal, like Maria on the back line. He's a big part of pushing that ball forward in attack. Arfston's had a stellar career since he exploded at Columbus. You said he's not there. And then you've got guys who played midweek who I don't know if we're going to see, right? Like now, Gazday, I expect to see. He didn't play the second game for Hungary. So he should be rested enough to come in. Vancouver gets like Kubas back, which is always a big deal in that midfield. However, he went 90 for both games for Paraguay. So
Yep.
I just can't see him starting. He might not even play this match. They might just have to bench him entirely. Again, it's just another good spot to fade Vancouver, right? And so when you get the money line like this, yeah, I can't argue against it. Like I said, I was trying to work ways around that I was comfortable with and making this plus money. I didn't find anything I loved enough for the show, but I will be on Columbus in some way in this game. And I will just, I'm going to fade Vancouver all through the Gold Cup. That's just what it's going to be. I think Seattle was the right play last week. It just translated into terribleness on the field. But you play the spots, right? You can't play the games for the players. And
Yep.
that's just what this is playing the spot.
Absolutely. Yeah, that Seattle, phew, that was ugly, and then the red card, didn't help anything.
Two red cards.
Oh, double red card. Excuse me. All right, last one.
So they're playing San Diego.
Oh, that was my bad.
But yeah, we're gonna back Minnesota here. As they are hosting San Diego this week. We got money line plus 110. And I'm just taking the plus money on the money line here. There's big players for San Diego in De La Torre and Godoy missing from the midfield. They're both the Gold Cup. An injury kept Lozano off the Mexico roster for Gold Cup, so it's safe to assume he's going to miss this game. Otherwise, the Mexican Federation might just have a conniption. And then Minnesota's got lots of guys missing too. Harvey is gone. Rosales is gone. St. Clair is gone. Their goalkeeper. Their leading scorer, Oluwase, is gone. Boxwell and Lott both played decent to heavy minutes during the window, so I don't expect them to start. So I should see some rotation from Minnesota here as well. But Minnesota are a deeper side than San Diego. And I really think those two players missing in San Diego midfield could absolutely allow Minnesota to torch that midfield. Those are two huge players for them in the midfield for San Diego. And for me, that's the biggest difference here, right? I'm getting plus money for a good Minnesota side at home versus a San Diego side that hasn't traveled great this season and missing key players. Minnesota's deeper. I think they weather that storm better. This could really not be good for San Diego.
Yeah, I'm with you. Missing De La Torre and Godoy in the midfield. I mean, I think they're in trouble. I'm just pulling this up real quick to see. I mean, even Minnesota's, because it's the right game. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota's team total is plus money as well. which is interesting because
So
I mean,
this could be 1-0. Like I think Minnesota could dominate the game and still not score the way they would like
yeah,
because there's leading goal scorers gone. However, you do have a DP in Yeboah who's going to be coming off the bench and starting this game now, right?
yep,
Like, and so I'm not so much worried about can Minnesota find any attack. In this spot though, I'd much rather take the plus money of the money line. But yeah, it's just yeah, fading that San Diego midfield, man, missing those two key pieces for a team that's just not deep. And then I did just look Dryers for San Diego. He's really the only other option in attack with Lozano out. He went 80 minutes last game for Denmark, so I'm not sure if he starts. I think San Diego is going to start him, but you could see some heavy legs there. So
yep.
we'll see.
Cool. All right, fantastic. 4 officials for you. What do you think? Just one that I jotted down here. Philadelphia, Charlotte. Agumine is gone, right? That's the only key absentee. Philadelphia, Charlotte, both teams to score is around -160. What do you think about that for a parlay piece? It's at Philly.
I have it in a parlay.
Okay.
I have it
like
in a parlay with New England both teams to score.
Okay. That was like probably my favorite parlay piece. So
But that game could absolutely end 1-1. Like I
yeah,
don't want any other action there. I don't want a side. Philly's got guys away. They've actually got a lot of guys away. The goalkeeper Blake, Nathan Harrell, who good grief, get that guy off my national team. Holy smokes, did he get embarrassed, dude? Like this is why I don't like Poch. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not going there. Harrell's gone. Jean Jacques, the midfielder who plays for
yeah,
Haiti, he's gone. Like that's a big piece.
he's
There's
good.
Andrew Rick, the goalkeeper, who would be the backup to Blake, has just come back from international camp. So we'll see what he looks like. But he's probably going to get the start. Quinn Sullivan's gone. So Philly's missing pieces. And then the leading goal scorer, Baribo, missed the Israel call-up because of injury. So I don't know if we'll see him
Yeah,
this game. A lot of issues. But Charlotte has pieces missing as well. Yeah, both teams to score there is really what I'm vibing with that's based on Philly's missing pieces, right? Like I think Philly scores. It's just Charlotte score, and I think they can with who Philly is missing. So both teams to score for a parlay piece is what I'm rocking with, and it's like I said, I think I tied it with New England Cincinnati. I think New England Cincinnati is a good parlay piece for both teams to score. And it's around the same price, like -165. So you get a good little parlay price for those two. I'm absolutely on New York tomorrow
okay,
for the Thursday match. 100% at Yankee Stadium. Money line's -110 right now. I don't think we see Martinez up top, but that's okay because the books are giving us Hannes Wolf to score anytime at +250, and I'm on that for a half unit.
oh,
So he's absolutely going to be taking shots without Martinez there to kind of eat up some of that attack. Atlanta, I think at best rolls out a C team tomorrow.
okay,
Now, New York's missing players too. I'm not taking away, like it's not just going to be absolutely overpowered, but this is a New York City spot, absolutely.
yeah. I had the under 3 written down as a lean for that one as well.
Then you for the under 3, and I get it, I understand, but with who I think Atlanta's going to roll out, it I can't tell you if this is going to be a bloodbath or not, but like
Okay.
it's an NYC spot for sure.
And what's it -110? You said.
-110 right now, and it's not City Field. This is Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, New York tomorrow. We covered San Jose for Friday. There's other spots I'm interested in. Like I said, we talked about the both teams to score parlay. That honestly, should have made the show. I was just being super conservative given everything who's away right now. I think I'll be on Houston Dynamo in some way. Montreal is missing their best players on top of just being a terrible team. Now, I don't want the money line right now at minus 150. But I've got to decide how I want to play it. If I want, because you can work it to get Houston money line in under 4.5 for I think right around even money or minus 105. That I just have to convince myself that Houston's not going to score 5 goals, which is not terribly hard to do. So
Yeah.
I lean Houston heavily there. What else, man? That's kind of it for me. I don't like any of the later games after Minnesota on that slate. I don't want any Kansas City. I don't want anything in Colorado. I'm not touching Real Salt Lake and DC. That might be the worst game of the week. So it's going to definitely be a lighter slate this weekend with the matchups and who we expect to play.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's pretty much all I had too. I did briefly think about goals in St. Louis and Galaxy, but then I talked myself out of trusting either of them. So
I looked at it too. It all comes down to St. Louis's player availability report Friday. That'll decide a lot for me when that comes out from MLS Communications on if I'm going to jump on goals in that game or not.
Cool. Yeah, I think we're pretty aligned. All righty. Well, it's good to be back. And
no Club World Cup picks.
I mean, I've got a whole sheet of leans if you want to see them, but
hold on. Just talk about Club World Cup just for a minute. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You think an MLS side's going to win a game, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think LAFC will find a way to get a dub. That's probably the team that I'm the highest on going into the tournament. I know like the PR right now and the narratives are really tough around the tournament from several different angles. But I do think they will find a way to get a win. But then I was also looking at Esperance, this team from Tunisia, and it's one of the only teams that I haven't seen play, but their numbers are really good. So it kind of concerned me just a little bit. I assume that they're just going to like pack it in.
Are you saying their numbers are good for Tunisia?
Yeah, for Tunisia.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I think the win comes from for MLS. I think LAFC beats the Tunisian squad. I think that's the most likely win because the Egyptians that Miami are playing are no scrubs. And that's going to be the first game Saturday night against Al Ahly. Those guys are not bad, right? And we've seen money come in on them, and it's understandable. Seattle's not doing shit, right? So
nope, not a thing.
There's no way. And
I think Miami gets torched.
Yeah.
I think Seattle might not score a goal. What I will tell you in Group A, because I think Miami gets torched. This is the only future I've taken on the Club World Cup, which by the way, they've got thousands of futures. And I just think it's hilarious that they have thousands of futures for this.
I love it.
Garbage competition. But it's for Group A. If you can find top 2, any order, doesn't matter what order they finish in, as long as they finish in the top 2 for Porto and Palmeiras at plus, I think right now it's at plus 200. It's gone down 20 cents since I last looked at it. But that is Miami's group. If you can get the Portugal side and the Brazil side and to be top 2 of any order, I think that is ridiculously valuable given that group.
I like Palmeiras to potentially win that group. I think they're really good.
I do agree with you there. I think Palmeiras can win the group. These South American sides, they're in the middle of their season. These guys are fit. The European clubs, I expect some European crash outs because there are dudes who are like, I just played 50 games this year. I'm done. Like, I'm not playing any more games right now. I'm not going to care about this. The reason why these teams care right now is because of the money that's on the line. So I could absolutely see the European sides rotating a decent amount, not playing some studs in some games. And so, yeah, you could see some Euro crash outs.
For sure. What else do I like here? I haven't looked at prices for a couple of days since I wrote these down. Dortmund and let's see, Dortmund and Fluminense. I think that's how you say it. The Brazilian side. I like both teams to score there. It was at like -110 when I looked at it. I think, like you said, I'm going to be backing a lot of these South American sides to at least score goals against some of these bigger clubs. I kind of like both of the German sides to do well. Particularly, I like Bayern.
Yeah, I agree. I think both German sides will do well in the tournament. They're deep, and their kids are hungry enough. Like I think they'll do well.
I think
You can write off PSG right now, man. Those guys are still drunk. Like,
yeah.
write them off. Yeah.
How do you think Inter,
took
how do you think Inter is going to approach this competition after losing in the Champions League?
Inter Milan's owners are broke, so Inter wants to win this. I can promise you that. Like, Inter Milan owners are broke as a joke. They're the same owners that owned the side that won the China Super League.
Yeah.
So you had the Chinese Super League champion a couple of years ago win the league and then fold that offseason because they had no money. So
good gravy.
Same owners.
Wow.
I think the only future I had was I think Atletico Madrid win their group. It's the group with man, I'm blanking now. This is embarrassing. Is it Chelsea?
Atletico Madrid. Chelsea? I'll tell you who they're with. They're with PSG, Seattle, and Botafogo.
Yes, PSG crash out, the PSG drunk party. So yeah, Atletico Madrid was plus money to win their group when I took it, like plus 135. PSG, obviously the favorite, being UCL champions. Yeah, I like Atletico Madrid to win their group.
Yeah. Some of these European sides that have at least a little bit of motive, that have depth, I mean, I'm definitely interested in.
Don't sleep on these Asian sides.
Yeah, I hear you.
You're gonna get decent prices for those teams to score. So don't sleep on them.
Yeah, I think my guy Q has been trying to convince me to bet on the Sundowns.
Yeah, that sounds like a Q bet.
It does.
I'm
right?
not betting on the Sundowns.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. We'll see. It depends on how I'm feeling that day, I guess. But the other Asian sides,
I do hope this competition is fun. I don't have high hopes. They can't sell tickets. The talk from the players is very sour about it. It is a chance for a really nice paycheck if you win it all, because most clubs will do a 50-50 split with their players. So yeah, you could absolutely get a nice little payday, but this is coming after a long season. And by the time this competition finishes, if you make it to the end, you've got like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks off before preseason camp starts, like for next season. And so it's just, we're approaching 52 weeks of soccer for some of these guys.
So just a lot. I don't like the South Koreans. I do like Urawa, the Japanese squad. I think that's a much better league.
You don't like the South Koreans, even though they've won the league 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And then the 2 years prior to that, they finished second. I mean, this is the closest thing you get to a soccer dynasty.
Maybe they'll change my mind, but I just haven't been impressed with the Korean league. But we will see. The Mexican squads, I do think will definitely try. I think that, and it's two squads that didn't, Monterrey and Pachuca are the two squads representing Liga MX. So I think that they will definitely try. very hard, and you'll see effort from them. Pachuca and Salzburg over has my attention because Pachuca really can't defend, and I think they'll let it rip as far as the attack. I think Salz has the athletes to score on them, so that's not a bad look. It was at over 2.5.
That sounds like a fun matchup.
Yeah, I think
Now that
that's
I think about it, that does sound like a fun matchup.
That's one I really had circled. Wasn't really going to mention on here, but whatever. I don't care.
We can talk about Club World Cup because there is an MLS tie-in.
What was that? Yeah,
we can talk about Club World Cup because there is an MLS tie-in.
Yeah, we got some teams for the time being. There's no way. I mean, none of our teams are getting out of group play, but I mean,
no.
$1 billion in prize money is pretty nuts.
Yeah, it's $1 billion in total prize money. It's wild. I mean, I think LAFC got like 10 or 11 million just for making the tournament. Like, pretty crazy.
But what, the players are only getting like 10%, you said?
At max, the players can get 10%. Like, MLS hasn't said how much they're giving the players, but now, contractually, I think max is 10%. MLS could get away with giving the players 1% of total prize money.
Is MLS footing any of the bill for this, or is it all FIFA and then MLS just gets to rake in ticket money? Or who?
No, it's not a pay to play tournament. Like, MLS didn't have to pay to get in or like anything like that. Like, this is FIFA, man.
So this is FIFA funded completely.
Listen, man, I don't know how FIFA launders their money to be able to fund this. I don't understand it. I don't want to know. I feel like that puts me on a list. But yeah, somehow, some way, they got $1 billion in prize money for this joke of a tournament.
Yeah, that makes it even crazier. I was thinking somehow MLS was having to pay for some of this, and that's why they were being so skimpy on the shares. But
nope, MLS is just a greedy league.
Golly,
another way to put it.
All righty, folks. Well, 4 official show picks for this week, and our first show pick starts. It'll be kicking off Friday night with the San Jose game. So, and then the Club World Cup starts Saturday night. If you want to tune in, Miami and Al Ahly kick that one off. So that'll be interesting just to see what happens. But anything, Garrett?
No, as always, thank you so much for the support and for tuning in. Make sure you give us a follow. Weekends like this are definitely where you want to be following the handles because, I mean, plays can come out hot and heavy once lineups drop. Like, there's just a lot of question marks out there as far as who's playing, who's doing what, based off them coming off of the international window and how many minutes they played. So there could absolutely be advantages in the 11s once they get announced about an hour out before game time. So definitely worth following us, notifications on, all that jazz for any additional plays.
Absolutely. All righty, folks. Well, we will be back next Wednesday. Until then, best of luck on all your wagers, and we will see you next time.
See you guys.